Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do 360s in Forza Horizon 4. Well, not really. Today I'm going to be testing both the McLaren Senna and the Lego Senna. I tried to find two tunes that were very close to one another. You can see them here. The Lego Senna has a bit more horsepower, but weighs more and has a bit less torque. I was unable to find two tunes that had the exact same stats, so keep in mind that these tests will not be 100% accurate. But both cars did very well with these tunes and performed quite similarly. The regular acceleration had a bit better launch, however at around 150-ish miles per hour, that's when the Lego Senna started pulling slightly ahead in terms of speed. I started both cars at practically the same point on the highway, and as you can see, they're almost neck and neck, with the Lego Senna being ever so slightly ahead here. But you also have to keep in mind that pretty much nowhere on any track is there any sort of long straight section like this one. The Lego Senna tops out at 240 miles per hour and the regular Senna tops out at 226. But keep in mind, there are only a few places on certain tracks where the car can actually reach its top speed, so the handling and acceleration, I would say, are more important in these cars. To a point, of course, you probably wouldn't want an S2 class car that tops out at 190 miles per hour, unless it was just amazing in every single other way. And even then, it would probably be only good for circuits. There is a car like that, the Mercedes-Benz CLK, I believe it is, which has a low top speed but very good everything else. People use it for circuits a lot of the time. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is showing two races in the regular McLaren Senna, followed by two races in the Lego Senna. Now, one of these races in each car is going to be on a normal road race. The other one is going to be on a circuit. So we get a road race and a circuit on both of these cars. This weekend, I actually had the highest numbers of players ever in a private lobby for one of my videos. As you can see on the upper right, there are 9 people in here. Now, the way that you can get in one of these videos, if you have Forza Horizon 4 that is join the Purple Team Discord, link will be in the description, then go to the Special Roles channel and click on the Forza Horizon 4 emote. You will get its role, which I will tag whenever I do one of these private lobbies, and then I will tell you what to do in order to join. So fairly simple if you do have the game. If you do not have Forza Horizon 4, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's a lot more realistic than Asphalt 8 or 9. You don't have nitro and things like that boost your speed by a bunch, for example. However, it's not a full simulation such as something like Forza Motorsport might be. So I find it to be a good middle of the road between arcade and simulation. If that's something you're into, well, this might just be the game for you. Now, that F40 up there is actually the Lego F40, and it might very well be the new king of S2 class. And I could be completely mistaken about that, but the thing is, the regular F40 has long been considered one of the kings of S2 class, and I think the Lego version might be just slightly better. It was certainly overpowered in that race there. Somehow the game said I came in third, even though I actually came in second. That has happened to me in a couple of my videos. Now for a race on Moorhead Wind Farm Circuit, one of my favorite circuit tracks in the game. Oh, and the main reason that I'm not doing any of these races on Lego tracks is, well, number one, because I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but also, not everybody has the Lego expansion. Some people who were in this race don't have the Lego expansion, and I figured it would be sort of unfair to those people. So unless I specifically do like a Lego expansion multiplayer, I don't know exactly what it would be, but unless I do that, if I'm just testing cars, I'm probably not going to be doing them in the Lego track or Fortune Island or any of those expansions, because not everybody has them. Now, the McLaren Senna is actually the cover car of Forza Horizon 4, and I can sort of understand why. It is definitely one of the easiest cars in the game to drive. It is fairly grippy, however, I would say its biggest advantage is the fact that its handling is extremely good. It can take a lot of turns, not like 90-degree turns, mind you, but a lot of sort of wider curves without having to brake, at least if it's not going 220 miles per hour. But even above 200, I've been surprised what sort of places this thing can get around. It has average acceleration, I would say. There's some cars that accelerate faster, some that accelerate slower, and I will say, one of my main competitors throughout most of these races was Tyler driving his Lego F40. Now, if you would like me to do another one of these sorts of comparison videos, perhaps between the Lego F40 and the real F40, 40, just let me know, because that's something I could definitely do in the future as well. Now we are moving on to the LEGO Senna, first track being Greendale Super Sprint. I've always thought of this track as being one of the best ones to test all sorts of aspects of the car, because you start in Edinburgh with all of these 90-degree turns and things like that, and then you've got that really long straight section on the highway, which is actually probably one of the longest straight sections on any of the road racing circuits in the game, and then you've got that almost 180-degree big turn thingy right after that, some more 90-degree turns, and there's just a whole lot in this track where almost any car can find some part of it where it can do well. So as expected, the LEGO Senna drives pretty much the exact same way as the main Senna. You'd think that it would drive quite a bit worse being all LEGO and not aerodynamic, but the game didn't want to be quite that realistic, I guess, and they made all of the LEGO cars very similar in performance to their real counterparts. And I suppose this makes sense, being not the simulation game that it is, just so that people who have driven the regular Senna don't get a huge shock when they drive the LEGO one, or with any of the other cars as well. You'll notice there I was able to take the turn onto the highway a bit quicker than those cars ahead of me. However, they have slightly better acceleration and probably slightly higher top end. This was the section here that I was talking about, which is very good for those top speed oriented cars. And this is where a car like the F99XX Evo and perhaps the Mosler, although I think that car is better in X class, would definitely pull away from the competition. And the Mosler, that is definitely a car that I want to make a video about at some point as well, because it's one of the best, if not the very best, well-rounded cars in the game. At X class it can go 300 miles per hour, but not only that, it also has very good handling and acceleration and pretty much everything else. Oh, and by the way, the reason that my LEGO Senna isn't purple is because, well, it doesn't actually have a purple manufacturer color, and you can't actually change the cars to a non-manufacturer color. I suppose I could have put a purple decal on it, but unfortunately I didn't think of that before recording this video. So here we finish in second place again, and one-man Team xCloud takes it in this race. For our final race, we have another circuit, the Astmore Heritage Circuit. Now this one is a bit more top speed oriented than the one we did previously, but as you could see there, it's still got some twists and turns and things like that. So we start in second position here, and I found that when you're playing against people that have at least somewhat close to the same skill level as you, whether it be slightly higher or slightly lower or whatever, it's definitely to your advantage if the game puts you in the front, because if you start in first, you're probably going to have a much better chance of coming in first than someone who starts in last. Now, that has been negated somewhat by the phasing in the beginning, but I remember back when that wasn't the case, then the people who were in the back just often could not pass those in front, especially if the road was narrow, for example. So I'm definitely glad they did do that, because I think that has made online adventures in general a whole lot more enjoyable. So now it's time for my general review of this car, even though, well, technically it's two separate cars, but they drive almost the exact same way and have almost the exact same performance, so I can just say the exact same thing about them both. First of all, I really did enjoy recording with this car quite a bit, not only to race with you guys, but also just because this car is quite a lot of fun to drive. It's got great handling, decent speed, decent acceleration, and I would just say it's a very well-rounded car overall. You don't really have to worry too much about it spinning out of the road or something like that if you hit a wall a bit too hard, or you go a bit off-road around a corner or something like that. It's pretty much going to stay stable no matter what you do, to a reasonable point, of course. Now here, I did not brake quite enough around this corner, so I end up ramming him a little bit. In online adventures, if the game sees that somebody is going to be rammed hard, it might have to be harder than that. I don't know, I haven't had a lot of experience with that, but basically it will ghost both cars, such that you don't get those annoying circumstances of people trying to go around the corner normally, and then you've got this one guy that just kind of rams into them and slams them all against the wall, and then he ends up getting ahead, and then the people playing the game properly get put behind. That high-speed collision ghosting definitely helped fix some of that. However, in these private adventures, I have not found a way to turn that on, nor the wall riding fix. However, everybody that I played in these videos, pretty much in all of my Forza videos, have been very good about not wall riding and trying to play clean, so I thank you all for that, and I'm sure everybody in these races does as well. Of course, every so often, somebody makes a mistake, hits someone too hard maybe, but everyone's always very apologetic and understanding about that. So we're coming up to the end of the race, and I would say both the regular Senna and the Lego Senna have really shown their potential in this video. Let me know if you would like to see a similar video between the regular and Lego F40. Thank you all for watching, please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Forza content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!